Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you? Hope you're safe during this time of pandemic. Today's video is just a continuation of yesterday's video about the Android Studio. I wanted to go into the specifics about pixels dot per inch. So I'm going back to this image right here. This is where we left off yesterday. I got this image off of the internet. I googled search roses. I made sure it was free to use. I'll show you a quick example. For instance, if I go here, images.google.com, roses, then you tools, use this right, label for reuse. I found one I like that shows that. Okay, now with Android Studio, they recommend you have different images for different screen size. If I go apps, drawables, I open this in Explorer. There's different folders. Each folder refers to specific screen size. There's large dots per inch. There's high dots per inch. There's medium dots per inch. There's extra high dots per inch. There's extra high dots per inch. There's extra high dots per inch. Now I'm going to see. So each screen, there are a lot of different phones out there, and each phone are different sizes. So this one is 6.1, as 6.1 inches. This is 5.8 inches. Their screen size is different. So Android recommends you create different sizes of your image for different devices. So with that being said, I like to go over pixels and what they are, and the process is actually selecting one image and making different images based off that one image for different screen size. Okay. So let's start with the base. So let's start with this picture. Again, I got this off the internet. Never give up. Alright, if I right click properties, I'm gonna use this example. It has, click on details, it's 600 by 80, 600 pixels width, 800 pixels height. So what pixels are, it's a unit of length for digital images. Just like in the physical world, you have inches, centimeters, millimeters. You use that to measure things. In the digital world, you use pixels when it comes to images. So a pixel is, it's a small, a unit of digital image length. In digital imaging, a pixel per or a picture element is a physical point in a raster image, or the smallest addressable element in all points. This is a good example. So your screen is made up of these tiny little squares. This is 800 by 450, and different screen size has more of these tiny little squares in one location. For instance, if you look at here, it has one square in that location. But if you look at here, it has a lot more squares in that location. Alright, so now that we got that covered, we're going to go to talk about dots per inch. Dots per inch is a unit of measure used by printers. So when a printer picks it's like pixels are virtual, dots per inch are physical. When a printer prints an image, there's a certain there's a certain number of dots that goes into an image. Dots per inch is a measure of spatial printing video image scanner dot density. In particular, the number of individual dots that can be placed within the span of 1 inch. So you look at this one. There's 107. Oh no, I need dots per inch, not this one. So let's imagine this has the length of 1 inch. This is the length of 1 inch. Let's just imagine. In this case, there's 600 dots per inch. In this case, there's 12,000 dots per inch. Usually, the more dots you have per inch, the better quality of the image. Now, this is important because when you're making different images for Android Studio, specifically based off one image size, you have to know how many dots per inch an image is based on the tool I'm using. So I just want to go, this is a good website right here. What I did is difference between pixels and DPI, and this right here is understanding dips and understanding DPI and pixel dimensions. So digital images are made up of square-shaped dots, pixels. And the more dots an image has, the clearer the image. Now we go to dots per inch. Pixel dimension, the total dots per inch. DPI, dots per inch. This number is calculating using your digital image pixel dimension and a digital image size. So there's 3 different ways to describe a digital image resolution. That essentially means the same thing. Total pixel dimension, dots per inch, and dots per inch as a certain output size. So we can go through this example. Today, the total pixel dimension of image will tell you how many total the total pixel dimension of image will tell you how many total pixels, dots, the image is made up of. So in this example, 1200 by 1800 pixels. This means that the digital image is made up of 1200 dots high by 800 pixels dots wide. So in our case, going back to properties, thank you for your patience and time. I just want to explain how we're going to get from pixels to dips and how to use the tool I'm going to use. So this is width and height, so 600 pixels. This is width and height. So 600, this image is made of a 600 pixels width and 800 pixels height. Okay. People regularly discuss digital image in terms of DPI, which stands for dots per inch. So there's different units of measure. I think pixels is the virtual, dots per inch is more of the physical, like when you print it out. The dots per inch of a digital image is calculated by dividing the total number of dots wide by the total number of inches wide, or by calculating the total number of dots high by the total number of inches high. For example, let's say we have a digital image that's 1200 by 1800 pixels, and a 4 by 6 inch and 4 by 6 inches in size. That means our digital image is 1200 dots high by 800 dots wide and 4 inches high by 6 inches wide. Our digital image has 300 dots per image. Here's how you did it. So 1800 dots wide divided by 6 inches wide. So you measure it. So once you measure it, you get 300 dots by 1 inch. 1800. Now that'll give you dots by inch. That'll give you 300 dots per inch. Now you can also, because you can do you can also take 1200 and divide it by 4. It'll also give you 300 dots per inch. So this is some more information, but let's get back to this. So this is 600 by 800. 600 by 800. So now we have the pixels. We can go to dots per inch. So let's see if I can open this. Open. If I go Google Chrome, let's see. If I take this and drag it here. Okay. Now, I'm going to do it two ways. I'm going to see if there's a virtual ruler that I can use to demonstrate it, or I'm just going to take a ruler I have and measure it. So, let me see. Virtual ruler. Okay, So I'm going to use this virtual ruler. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, so I'm back. Thank you for your patience. So we'll follow this. Please take out the following items. I'm just showing you two ways to do this. Please take out your following items, compare and adjust the blue button below. When the good is in full compliance with the pattern on the screen, we can calculate size of the image. The online services model. So now I'm matching up the dollar. I have a dollar and I'm matching them up exactly. So I'm going to adjust this until they fit. So now they're doing this because they have to scale it appropriately. Roughly, okay, let me. Yep, I've got this. Yeah, save and continue. Okay, so now that we have that, perfect. So if you come back to this image right here, perfect. So now start at 0. This is about 4.5. And guess what? I'm also using the physical rule I have. This is about, I'm using the physical rules that I had and it matches up. Almost closely, almost. I need some adjustment, but it's close enough. So now we come here. Let me see. Can also thank you for your patience. Thank you, really, thank you. Okay, just want to make sure we got this right. So line it up. Lines up. This is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 4.6. This 4.6 inches. So we open up Paint, 4.6 inches. .6 inches. This is the width. Now we're gonna measure the height. Can I rotate this? Does it? Let me see. Well, let me rotate it. Be nice. Let's see. Full screen. Okay. Drag it. Won't let me rotate. That's okay. So now that we got 4.6, and this is the width is 600 pixels. So if I take out a calculator, 600 divided by 4.6 is about 130 pixels. 130 dots per inch. So you took 600 divided by 4.6, approximately 130 dots per inch. 130 dots per inch. So now that we got that, we know how many DPI. Now, I recommend you also take a ruler and physically measure it out. So I'll go back to Chrome. Where's the image? Minimize. Come here. Hey. Come on. So I'm gonna measure, this time I'm gonna do the length. So when I measure the length, starting from 0 all the way down, I get about 6.2. The height is roughly 6.2. So if I come here, I have a 6.2 paint, 6.2 inches. So I'm gonna take the height of it is 800. If I did it correctly, I should approximately get I should get an answer closer to this calculator. 800 divided by 6.2. I get 129. Approximately 129 dots per inch. So now that you got the dots per inch, you can now move forward. So next, to create the image, we're doing, let me see how we're doing on time. Okay, about 22 minutes. Okay, next to create the image, I went here. It's called Nikita Development Magic Drawable Generator. So I just went to the site, Nikita Development / Developer Tools Magic Drawable Generator. If you type this in Google, you should find it. Copy. I'm over here. Paste. There we go. Right there. So now we're going to use this file to generate our images. And I'll show you why you needed to know the dots per inch. Alright, minimize. Okay, we're done with this image. I can go to folder. This is Magic Drawable Generator. Now for me, in order for me to run the program, I had to run it during the command line, because when I double click, it wouldn't open. So what I did git bash him, open it here, I click here. This is the command I typed to run in the command line. So if you're having troubles, this is the recommendation I recommend. This is the route I recommend. Back here, paste, enter, give it a minute, boom. So first step, image. So we're going to follow along with this guide right here. From here, okay, how to use, select your image. So you go to, you can drag and drop. So I'm going to drag and drop this one right here. Boom. Resolution, XXHZTPI. We don't know that yet. So select your images, select your Android rev folder path. Give me one. Let's see, can I? Alright. So now let me do this. Alright, next it says select your Android rev folder path. Export path. Go here. Now we copy the path. At this one, res right here. Copy. Now I'm gonna paste it here. So open. Next step. Choose the density your image is drawn at. So what we calculated, so source, you have to choose one of these. So what we calculated, we approximately got 129 to 130. So next you need to know what bucket, they call it bucket, what category does that fall in for Android Studio. So we'll come back here. Where are we? Android image density. This is a good example of pixels. Okay, so screen density. So 120, 160. So we got roughly about 120, 129 to 130. So I would say this is closer. It's a LDPI, large density pixel. This is medium density pixel. This, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure what this acronym stands for, but our image had 129 dots per inch. So 120 dots per inch is a lot closer than 160 dots per inch. This is 30 away. This is 10 away. So we can choose LDPI. The next dimension we want LDPI. We want MDPI. We want high DPI. We want an XHDPI. We want XSHDPI. And we want XXXHDPI. Now what's going to happen is go to these files are going to be generated in the rev folder. So when I click generate, completed. All these files were just created. Drawable XXX, HDPI, XHDPI, XHDPI, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, HDPI, LDPI, and if I click here, all of these images are there. If I click on properties now, details. This is 300 by 400. 300 by 400. This tool works by changing the pixel size. You can learn more about it in this document here. Okay, we find a document. Right here. If you read further in depth, if you want a specific image to have this many dots per inch, you have to adjust the size to get you have to adjust the size to get that specific dot per inch. That's why if you look here, this was 300 by 400 because that will give you that specific dot per inch. It'll give you the high dots per inch. If you click here, the pixel size will change. Properties, 1500 by 20. So you're resizing the image to get the specific dots per inch. That's what that tool is doing. So if you come here, the image is right there. If you come here, and now that I have that, I am able to have Android Studio select the correct image based on the screen size. So I don't like having what I did. Once you do this, it's like you have duplicate folders. Meaning you have drawable HDMI. What I mean by duplicate folders is no, you don't have duplicate folders. You don't have duplicate folders. You can ignore what I said. You don't have duplicate folders. When it comes to Android Studio, where's my image view? You see drawable, that macro. If I go here and update it, drawable, I have one here, I have one here. And I have different. If I change this to, I'm wrapping up. Thank you for your time. If I change this to never give up, come on. Computer's doing a lot, so never. What's the name of this? Right there. Might take a minute to show. But now the Android Studio will correctly scale based on whatever image I have. It's not showing up. Let's see. You get the gist of the. See if I move it. But I hope you understand the gist of it, the concept, the reason why you need to know between dots per inch, pixels. This is the image, so if I click it, it should load up. See if I build. I like for it to show. I'm not sure why it's not showing up, but I don't want to take too much of your time. Right, 34 minutes. Okay, close. Here. If I do here, oh, it's not a valid base. So one more thing, you have to rename the images to appropriate. So let me do this. You have to. It doesn't like. It doesn't like images with dashes in between. So if you rename it, never give up. Okay, rename, copy. I'm gonna rename these to show you that it's working. Rename, back, name, boom, rename. No, there's none here. Rename, boom, rename, boom, rename, boom. Okay, so I've come back here now, and I changed this to paste it. There we go. Now that's the appropriate image for that specific screen size of that device. So thank you for your time and patience. Let me just go over the resources real quick that you can use to generate different images for different screen devices. So first, just a recap. First, we went over pixels. We went over deep dips. So this is a good. This right here is a good resource. Where is it? It's a good read if you have the time. This is a good read to understand the difference between pixels, dots per inch, how to calculate dots per inch based on pixels. This also is another good read, Android image density. We click here. I recommend you read this to get a better understanding, like the graphics, to get a better understanding about pixels, dots per inch, density bucket. This is how everything's organized. That way you know what kind of image you have. Because what you're using, the software you're using wants to know what kind of image you have. Then this is the software we used. Magic Drawable Generator. This link right here. This will generate the images for you. Once you generate the images, you run the software. Once you download the software, you run the program. I had to use it using git bash. I used this command right here that opened the software. Where's the software? I think I closed it out. Just run that command again. Alright, this is software. I drag and drop my image. I select the source of it. I drag and drop the image. I put the path of my drawable folder. I select the source. I click generated. Those generated images in this folder right here. Right here. I rename the images because Android Studio doesn't like dashes in the name of its images for some reason. Then when you come here, you do drawable that never give up. And there you have it. So thank you for your time and patience. I know this video is long. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you're safe. Try to make the best of this situation. Take care.